Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjanam Danandanam Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjanam Naranjanam Yamuna Tira Vanacharim Te Yamuna Tira Vanacharim Ravanam Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय श्री श्री गौरनाथाय की जय श्री श्री राधा माधव की जय श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा सुदर्शन मैया की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय श्रील गुरुदेव की जय। हरे कृष्ण। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. Before I begin, I am not a learned person, but I am very dull and dumb, but because of the blessings of superiors, so I got this opportunity to speak. So I would like to share what I learned from learning from superiors and Gurudev. So I'll try with all of your blessings. Kindly be merciful so that I'll share something useful to every one of us, which pleases Vaishnavas. Hare Krishna. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 2nd Canto, 9th Chapter, 14th Sloka, Text 14. Shririyatra Rupi Nivurugaya Padayoham Karoti Manam Bahuda Vibhutibihi Prenkam Shritaya Kusuma Karanugair Vigiyamana Priyakarma Giyati. There are two texts, so I am moving to next. Shri, the goddess of fortune. Shri, the goddess of fortune. Yatra, in the Vaikuntha planets. Rupini, in her transcendental form. Vrugaya, the Lord who is sung of by the great devotees. Padayoha, under the lotus feet of the Lord. Karoti, does. Manam, respectful services. Bahuda, in diverse paraphernalia. Vibhutibihi, accompanied by her personal associates. Prenkam, moment of enjoyment. Shrita, taken shelter of. Yahu, Kusumakara, spring. Anugaihi by the black bass. Vigiyamana being followed by the songs. Priya karma activities of the dearmost. Gayati is singing. Translation: the goddess of fortune in her transcendental form is engaged in the loving service of the Lord's lotus feet, and being moved by the black bees, followers of the spring, she is not only engaged in variegated pleasure service to the Lord along with her constant companions, but is also engaged in singing the glories of Lord's activities. I lost this with a base connection once again. तदर्श तत्राखिल सात्वतां पतिं श्रियपतिं यज्ञपतिं जगत्पतिं सुनन्दनन्दप्रबलार्हनादिभिः स्वपार्षदाग्रैः परिसेवितं विभुं ददर्श तत्राखिल सात्वतां पतिं श्रियपतिं यज्ञपतिं जगत्पतिं सुनन्दनन्दप्रबलार्हनादिभिः स्वपार्षदाग्रैः परिसेवितं विभुं ददर्श तत्राखिल सात्वतं पतिं श्रियपतिं यज्ञपतिं जगत्पतिं सुनन्दनन्दप्रबलार्हनादिभिः स्वपार्षदाग्रैः परिसेवितं विभुं. Please. ददर्श तत्राखिल सात्वतां पतिं श्रियपतिं यज्ञपतिं पतिं सुनन्दनन्दप्रबलार्हनादिभिः स्वपार्षदाग्रैः परिसेवितं विभुं. ददर्श तत्राखिल सात्वतां पतिं श्रियपतिं यज्ञपतिं जगत्पतिं सुनन्दनन्दप्रबलार्हनादिभिः स्वपार्षदाग्रैः परिसेवितं विभुं. ददर्श तत्राखिल सात्वतां पतिं श्रियपतिं यज्ञपतिं जगत्पतिं सुनन्दनन्दप्रबलार्हनादिभिः स्वपार्षदाग्रैः परिसेवितं विभुं. ददर्श तत्राखिल सात्वतां पतिं श्रियपतिं यज्ञपतिं जगत्पतिं सुनन्दनन्दप्रबलार्हनादिभिः स्वपार्षदाग्रैः परिसेवितं विभुं. ददर्श Brahmasa Tatra there in Vaikuntaloka Akhila entire Satvatam of the great devotees Patim the Lord Shriya of the goddess of fortune Patim the Lord Yajna of sacrifice. Patim, the Lord. Jagat, of the universe. Patim, the Lord. Sunanda, Sunanda. Nanda, Nanda. Prabala, Prabala. Arhana, Arhana. Adibihi, by them. Swaprashada, Parshada, own associates. Agraihi, by the foremost. Parisevitam, being served in transcendental love. Vibhum, the great Almighty. Translation. Lord Brahma saw in the Vaikuntha planets the personality of Godhead, who is the Lord of the entire devotee community, the Lord of the goddess of fortune, the Lord of all sacrifices, and the Lord of the universe, and who is served by the foremost servitors like Nanda, Sunanda, Prabala, and Arhana, his immediate associates. Purport. When we speak of a king, it is naturally understood that the king is accompanied by his confidential associates like his secretary, private secretary, aide-de-camp, ministers, and advisors. So also, when we see the Lord, we see him with his different energies, associates, confidential servitors, etc. So the Supreme Lord, who is the leader of all living entities, the Lord of all the devotee sects, the Lord of all opulences, the Lord of all sacrifices, and the enjoyer of everything and his entire creation, is not only the Supreme Person, but also is always surrounded by his immediate associates, all engaged in their loving transcendental service to him. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Nena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Nena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunadanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadotam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Sri Krishna Vancha Kalpatarobhyasya Kripa Sindhobhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukunda Devachalam Pangam Langayate Grim Kripatamaham Shri Gurum Dainataranam Paramananda Madhavam Chaitanya Vishwaram. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances to all the Vaishnavas here. So, this section actually, in this chapter, in the first section, actually, Pariksit in previous chapter, Pariksit Maharaj asked many questions, and Sukadeva Goswami is answering one by one. And in the first section of this chapter, Sukadeva Goswami answers how a jiva is entangled and what is the way to come out of it. It is through bhakti, actually, jiva comes out of the material entanglement. And in the next section, actually, Brahma started finding what is the source of his existence. And then he heard, this is the next section, second section, the instructions from the Supreme Lord Krishna, that is Thapa. So when Brahma carefully, faithfully followed these instructions from the Supreme Lord, of course it's through Vani, it's not direct physically present and instructed, but just Akashavani. Brahma heard, but still Brahma has full faith. It must be Supreme Lord, and this instruction is from Supreme Lord. So with full faith, he started doing tapasya 1,000 celestial years. And then after, here one thing is, I'm just going through the previous section little bit, maybe 5 minutes like that, just for to set the context. Brahma actually, without any hesitation, with all sincerity and seriousness, actually he followed the instructions of, received that 16 syllable mantra, and then after doing the tapasya for 1,000 celestial years, Lord Krishna actually pleased. So here actually I heard from my superiors, like how come Brahma took the instructions so seriously? Because Brahma is very eager, very serious. He wanted to understand who is he, because he is moving here and there, he is traveling through the stem of the lotus flower, but he couldn't find anything finally. So he wanted to understand. He is very eager, he is very sincere with all seriousness. So he wanted to understand who is he, who is Supreme, and what is his relationship between him and Supreme, and what is his identity. All these things he is looking for those answers very seriously. So that's the reason, the moment there is a clue in the form of instruction, he pursued that instruction very seriously. Like Srila Prabhupada writes in purports, with all sincerity and all seriousness, like Brahma did like that. So finally Brahma pleased Supreme Lord. So when Supreme Lord is pleased, when that's when we will be able to take darshan of Vaikuntha devotees, and finally Lord himself. That's what the section is. And previous slokas, like from 8 to 9 and 10, 11, all those slokas, there is a description how Brahma is taking darshan of Vaikuntha. In Vaikuntha, inhabitants of Vaikuntha and their activities, all those things Brahma is taking darshan. And finally in this sloka, 15th sloka, he starts, first in 14th sloka he takes darshan of Lakshmi Devi, Lord's devotee first. He took darshan of Lord's devotees first, and then finally Lord. In 15th sloka he took darshan of Lord. So here another point I felt inspired to share is, the secret for pleasing the Lord is to follow the instructions of the Lord himself and his pure representatives. So everything is there in the instructions of the spiritual master. Everything, like till taking darshan of Vaikuntha and even meeting and reaching, going back to Vaikuntha, that much empowerment is there in the instructions of the spiritual master. That's what in Brahma's case happened. And we know many examples also, like we can discuss those things. When we carefully follow the instructions, how things will move. Like one example is, perfect example is Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada followed his Guru's order, instruction very carefully, faithfully, with full faith. So he could establish ISKCON and everything, like all empowerment came to Srila Prabhupada because he has full faith in the instruction of the spiritual master. Because the Lord's will in at any point of time will be revealed through the instruction of the spiritual master. Everyone may have their own plans, but the success will come when one follows the instructions of the spiritual master, because that is the will of the Lord. So Srila Prabhupada, when after Bhaktisiddhanta left, there was a war in the Gaudiya Math. By neglecting the instructions of the spiritual Bhakti Siddhanta, like following the GBC with 11 members and also preach this message to Krishna consciousness, this instruction is not taken seriously and not pursued properly. And everyone actually, according to their faith, they started their own matas and their own way of preaching, like that. Yes, that is all good. We don't say it is wrong. We don't say it is something one should not do. But the empowerment is there in the instruction of the spiritual master. That's what actually Srila Prabhupada had taken to the heart, that whatever Srila Bhakti Siddhanta told at first time, in the first meeting, and also even before Bhakti Siddhanta left this world, when Srila Prabhupada wrote a letter to Bhakti Siddhanta, and Bhakti Siddhanta replied, when Srila Prabhupada asks, what service can I do? Then Bhakti Siddhanta said the same instructions that preach to English-speaking people. So, Shri Shri Radha Madhav ki jai, Shri Shri Gaura Nithai ki jai, Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshana Maya ki jai, Srila Prabhupada. So, the point is, when Srila Prabhupada took the instructions of the Bhakti Siddhanta seriously, that preaching to English-speaking people, now we can see how much empowerment is there in that instruction. That's the will of the Lord. The will of the Lord is revealed through the instruction of the spiritual master. We may have our own plans, but instructions actually help us to advance very quickly and to perfect our lives very quickly, and also to go back to Krishna very quickly. So because of Prabhupada, now we are all got the opportunity, because of Prabhupada and his followers, we got this opportunity to discuss Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Otherwise, what to speak of speaking on Bhagavatam? First of all, reading Bhagavatam, then what to speak of speaking on Bhagavatam? It's all mercy of Prabhupada, because he received the empowerment through the instruction from the descending mercy. So we'll move on to this today's section, that Lord Brahma taking darshan of Vaikuntha, inhabitants of Vaikuntha, activities of the Vaikuntha, and then in 14th sloka, first he's actually taking darshan of Goddess of Fortune in her transcendental form, engaged in the loving service of the Lord's lotus feet. And being moved by the black base followers of Spain, she is not only engaged in variegated pleasure, service to the Lord, along with her constant companions, but is also engaged in singing the glories of Lord's activities. So here it is this entire section is full of personalism, very personalistic. There is no question of impersonalism or Mayavada. Bhagavatam actually, these kind of descriptions clearly defeats the Mayavada tattva and impersonal tattva. And particularly Supreme Lord is not just impersonal or not just person, not just power. He is also a person. That's what these kind of sections in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam reveals and helps to strengthen the understanding and conviction about the Supreme Lord, that he is a person. So sometimes in scripture there are some things like Nirakara, Nirguna, those things. Nirakara means formless and Nirguna means no qualities, but those are material qualities, no material qualities, no material form. When it is attributed to the Supreme Lord, Nirakara means no material form, and also Nirguna means no material qualities. Krishna is beyond time and three modes of material nature. Three modes of material nature cannot be touched cannot touch Krishna. So he is beyond modes. So he is Nirguna, that is correct. But he has spiritual qualities. He has all divine qualities, but not material qualities. That's what it means of Nirguna. So when Prabhupada also in Pranam Mantra Nirvisesha Shunyavadi, so Prabhupada is fully he presented the fully personalistic tattva which is given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this complete personalistic description means we can say what is personalistic, and then person means he has abode, he has relations, he has relationships like friend, lover, son, and he has the ability to express and fulfill desires and likes and dislikes, and also many other traits will define a person. For example, only power means power will not have any likes and dislikes and desires and expressions of feelings, all those things, it won't be there. But Krishna as a person, he has all these things. He has desires, he has expressions, he has activities, he wanted to please his devotees, all these things are there. So spiritual world is completely filled with this kind of spiritual activities and devotees and Lord. So it's not just something like Brahman, there won't be anything, no activity, nothing like that. It's a full of activity, full of rasa, that is Vaikuntha. So like in Brahma Samhita also it is said, Chintamani prakarasatmasu kalpa vriksha laksha vruteshu sharabir abhipalayantam lakshmi sahasrashata sambrama sevyamanam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So all these descriptions clearly say that Krishna is very busy with his devotees, like a desire trees, cows, and Lakshmi Sahasra. Thousands and thousands of goddess of fortune is actually serving the lotus feet of Krishna. So this material world is just reflection of Vaikuntha. That's why there are activities here, and there are so many other things here. Otherwise, there is. That's a way we should understand how the spiritual world would be. And then Krishna, actually in the purports it's written that Krishna is never alone. It's a very, I like this phrase very much. Like we also see sometimes, we are always accompanied by Krishna. Prabhupada writes in many purports, we are not alone, we are always accompanied by Krishna as a super soul. But here in one purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, Krishna is a supreme person, he is not alone. He is always accompanied by his associates. Like even in our ISKCON mandirs, Radha, Krishna is not alone. Is Radha Madhav, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra, Gauranitai, and so many ways like Krishna Balaram, Prahlad Narsimha, and like that Sitaram Lakshman. Krishna is not alone. He is always accompanied by his devotees, his personal associates. So it's a very completely personalistic. Krishna Tattva is personal and completely personalistic philosophy. So this is where like how when we understand about spiritual world, even in Bhagavad Gita, there are clues given by Krishna himself. Natat bhashayeta shuryo na sashanko na pavakaham yadgatva ne vartante tattama paramam mama. So these kind of clues when we receive. So definitely when we pursue these fundamental inquiries, Brahma Jignasa, that who am I, why I am in this world, why I am suffering in this material world, again and again, these kind of basic questions, inquiries to repeating ourselves actually helps to connect to the Supreme through the disciplic succession. Otherwise, in the process, on the way, there is a chance that one may become mechanical and we may not actually pursue the meaningful connection, rather mechanical connection. So it's very important to refine again and again, what's the purpose, why I'm doing this, why I'm why I am here like this, and whatever I am doing devotional activities, what's the purpose, and these kind of things helps a lot in to take darshan of Vaikuntha. Otherwise, we may not be able to take darshan of Vaikuntha because Brahma is very eager to find answers to these questions. So he got the opportunity. Krishna facilitated him. Similarly, one who is very sincere, like with all, Srila Prabhupada says, with all sincerity and seriousness, yes, one can take darshan of Vaikuntha like Brahma. So here I just want to read one Bhaktivinoda Thakur repentance Kirtan, which is from Kalyana Kalpataru. Just I'll read only translation, 5 stanzas will be there, which helps how to quickly advance those things, and finally how we can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna in the Vaikuntha. So this is Anutapa Lakshana Upalabdhi, repentance, in the mood of repentance, Bhaktivinoda Thakur written. There are 5 stanzas. O my heart, I see 5 endless sufferings. One is avidya, second is ashmita, false ego, third is abhinivesha, being absorbed in material things, fourth durvara raga, irresistible attachment, material attachment, 5 dvesta, aversion. So Bhaktivinoda continues. Avidya means ignorance, comes from the forgetting the Supreme Lord. Ashmita, false ego, comes from directing one's thoughts away from Supreme Lord. Third, abhinivesha, being absorbed in material things, comes from rapt meditation on things other than Supreme Lord. Durvara raga, irresistible attachment, comes from blind love for things other than Supreme Lord. Dvesha, aversion, comes from the struggle to purify the soul. These 5 sufferings always torment me. Bhaktivinoda is writing like that. Always these 5 things are tormenting. Next stanza. Forgetting the world of Vaikuntha, I became mad for Maya's pleasures. With I, surrounded myself. Again and again I thought, this is mine and that is also mine. O my brothers, in this way my heart was filled with anxieties. So anxiety will come when we think this is mine, I am the Lord, or I am the proprietor of this, so and so. Then all anxiety will come. Next stanza. I searched for a way to cure this disease. Alas, I met a physician who was like death personified. He said, I am the Supreme Brahman. Maya is to be unaware of that truth. Now I see that his medicine brought me unbearable pain. And last stanza. On one side is the disease of materialism. On the other side is the demon physician of impersonalism. A physician like death personified. So it's like impersonalism is like a killing a soul. Like Mayavadi philosophy is like a killing a soul. How will I escape my troubles? If I take shelter of merciful Lord Chaitanya, I will easily cross over these horrible calamities. So if we take Chaitanya shelter through Srila Prabhupada and his followers, definitely we will be able to cross over this material existence, because Prabhupada is particularly empowered in this modern age. He is very expert in dealing the people, and the methods he has given, like in his purports, whenever sometimes when I see some bewilderment, even in our among different groups of devotees, when there is some bewilderment, the moment I read Prabhupada purport, I feel very confident immediately. I pull out of that bewilderment. So particularly Nectar of Instructions book helps helping me a lot. When there are situations in bewilderment, it is helping a lot in so many ways, in so many directions. But the point is, following Prabhupada and his purports carefully, sincerely, studying under the guidance of a devotee is more efficient, more also quick in advancement. One can go back to Krishna either quickly or by delayed the time. But Prabhupada came here to send us very quickly. That's what the way he has given process, this Krishna conscious process. If one faithfully follows all regulative principles and instructions carefully, definitely one can quickly see the darshan of Vaikuntha like Brahma. So books are the basis. That's this conviction helps us a lot in advancing in our devotional service quickly. And then so here I just want to share few things which I heard from my superiors, like how actually everything is revealed through instruction, or in other words through Naam, holy name of Krishna. Like Brahma chanted the holy name, whatever 16 syllable given by Akashvani, through Akashvani Krishna instructed that 16 syllable mantra Brahma chanted faithfully, then everything revealed to him, including the form of Krishna. So form and qualities and Leela is revealed through the Naam. So when we chant Hare Krishna sincerely, seriously, definitely Krishna's form will be revealed. Of course, by mercy of Prabhupada, we all can take darshan of Krishna in ISKCON mandirs. But in Vaikuntha also, we can see directly face to face, like in ISKCON mandirs, how we can see face to face. In Vaikuntha also we can see like that. It's possible through Harinam. So in Harinam, everything is there. Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. So everything is present. Like Brahma is the best example. He chanted holy name and everything is revealed. Like Krishna's activities, Krishna's form, Krishna's associates, everything is revealed. So it's very powerful. Like when Bhakti Siddhanta was there and Bhakti Vinod was there, some people are imitating like Radha, Gopis, all these things. This kind of sahajiya methods are condemned by our acharyas, Bhakti Siddhanta, Bhakti Vinod and Prabhupada. So we don't have to artificially take up any method. We can just depend on the Harinam that reveals us everything. And next, Lakshmi in 14th sloka, how she is constantly engaged in devotional service and also engaged in singing the glories of the Lord's activities. This is something very inspiring, and that how in spiritual world, not only serving the Lord, they also glorify the Lord. So here it helps to meditate and take some inspirations, like while doing services in our practical day-to-day services and whatever assigned services. Generally, when we serve, from that service, many other things may come out, like some expectations may be there, some frustration may be there, some other things may be there. But Lakshmi ji, although 24/7 she is engaged, but still she is actually glorifying Lord more and more happily, ever fresh, with ever fresh attitude. So when we serve Krishna with a proper service mode, naturally we glorify Krishna and his representatives by seeing that descending mercy in our life. How come we got that service? Because of the descending mercy. When we serve, when we do service with proper attitude, naturally our heart turns with gratitude towards that descending mercy, means superiors and Guru or Krishna. So and then we will glorify, rather than getting, deviated or contaminated by expectations, some expectations and some frustration, some other material motives. But if we situate with the right consciousness, then our heart should be turned towards descending mercy, that is superior Vaishnavas, Guru, Krishna, with gratitude. That's what is meant for service, is given for us. So Lakshmi is the best example how she is helping all of us. So sometimes also we may think that our service to be glorified like anything, Labha Puja Pratishta, sometimes it comes, but as Lakshmi is glorifying Krishna, not Lakshmi ji herself. Some other devotees may glorify Lakshmi ji as well, but in general one's own practices should be always, we should glorify Krishna and his devotees. So that should be the mood while serving, while doing any service. And then in next sloka, Srila Prabhupada written that how a king is naturally accompanied by his associates always. Similarly, Supreme Lord is always associated by his confidential devotees. Here particularly written Nanda, Sunanda, Prabala, Arhana, his immediate associates. That's what Brahma is taking darshan in the Vaikuntha. But also is always surrounded by his immediate associates, all engaged in their loving transcendental service to him. It means we can understand that Krishna is always with the devotees. He always accompanied by devotees. He is always with the devotees. It means we also should learn how to live with the devotees. Krishna is living with the devotees always, so we should also learn how to live among devotees. And what are the ways which helps us to have proper relationship. Living among devotees means it's relationships. Krishna is in relationships with devotees. He is not just like that. He is not alone. He is always with the devotees in relationships, various relationships. So similarly, among devotee groups, devotee community, also it's very important to keep Krishna in the center while doing any activity or service. And also some things which I felt inspired from superiors classes. I am just sharing. These are all theoretical understandings, not my realization. They are my superior realizations which I am sharing. That like one thing is in devotee community, first thing is one should respect properly towards other devotees, because everyone is doing some service, some level, some degree towards Guru and Krishna. By acknowledging it consciously and appreciating it actually pleases Krishna. That's how the community becomes strengthened and becomes a vibrant community. So it's a very important practicing, respecting, like in Nectar of Instruction, as it is said very clearly how to respect devotees. There are various levels of devotees, so respecting in mind, offering obeisances, and more than that, like that. So this respect among devotee groups, practicing seriously, sincerely. What is that we have to respect? One may think we have to respect the descending mercy in their lives is one thing, and the response of that particular devotee towards that descending mercy is another thing we can see. Means somebody may get some service, that's a mercy in his life from Krishna through descending disciplic succession. So we can respect that. And also if that devotee is responding to that mercy very sincerely, that also we can acknowledge without enviousness. We can acknowledge that response, that his endeavor, by respecting sincerely, at least in mind, in praying to Krishna, like that. That is the respect we have to see. Always the respect must be in line with the descending mercy. Otherwise, it may be tainted with materialism, which may increase false ego ashmita. So which is not helpful. False ego again binds one to this material world rather than liberating from this material world to Vaikuntha. It binds to this material world. So one should be very careful while respecting, keeping in mind that our respect should please Vaishnavas and Supreme Lord Krishna, and makes when one respects nicely, carefully, the person feels humble naturally. For example, if you got this opportunity because of your superior's mercy, if we say like that, naturally that person is humble. Otherwise, if we say like, oh, you did like this or did like that, you have so much skill and all, it may increase pride. We don't know. It depends on the individual and their sincerity. So one should be even careful in respecting and appreciating also, so that he'll be able to continue his journey so nicely. So respect is one thing, and second thing is appreciation among devotee groups. I mean, it's also very important while practicing that whatever little or big or whatever level, whatever degree, everyone is doing something, and Krishna is, by the way, Krishna is happy with everyone. Whoever, like somebody may chant only, he may not doing anything, but Krishna is happy with that person, with that practitioner. Somebody may be doing more services, big services. Krishna is also happy with that person. Like Rama is happy with Hanuma and also squirrel. So similarly, Krishna is happy with the beginner of Krishna consciousness or Madhyamadhikari, Uttamadhikari. So it doesn't mean that we have to treat everyone on the same level. We can, there will be definitely Vaishnava Sadachar we follow. But appreciating is, we can appreciate whatever little they are doing according to their receptivity. That also helps in devotee groups, devotee community. That's what in Vaikuntha there are so many devotee groups. How do we move among devotee groups without appreciation, without respecting? It's not possible. So these are all the fundamental and mandatory qualities which every practitioner in his journey, in his devotional journey, should learn and practice so nicely, so that Guru and Prabhupada, Krishna will be pleased very nicely. And also, the other thing is, while appreciating, like we should carry Dasera and Dasa consciousness, we should be always supportive and guide to help others also who are like having some troubles and some tough times and all. If we can support them in a Krishna conscious way by giving them, because we are not yet liberated. I'm talking about conditioned souls, I'm not talking about advanced souls, but at least beginners of Krishna consciousness I am talking about. So there will be tough times. Then if devotees should be in the mood of Dasera and Dasa. So when we approach any Vaishnava in this mode, the relation will be nice, it will be fresh, there won't be stress and strain naturally when we approach this Dasera and Das principle. Because we are humble in this principle comes when we are humble, with the humble mode when we practice. Naturally there won't be any strain in the relation, because there are so many services one had to coordinate and collaborate. In this process there will be a lot of stress and strain if we don't approach any Vaishnava with this Dasera and Dasa principle. We have to face those things. So it's very important to have this kind of principles like respecting and appreciating, and also having the service mode like Dasher and Das. And also I felt inspired to share few things like particularly nectar of instruction. I see the connection between how to move in among devotee groups. Prabhupada purports are very, very clear. How to respect, how to treat, like Dadatip, even Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Udropasta Vegam, Etani Yogan Veshaveta Dira, Sarvama Pibam, Pradivim Sashishad, and followed by Dadati, Pratigrunati Guhyam Akyati Prachati, Bhungte Bojete Cheva, Sadvidam Priti Lakshanam. And in that text, Prabhupada wrote that how the community is nourished when the devotees practice these 6 principles like dadati pratigrunati and guhyam akhyati pritchate bhungte bhojayata. I mean, taking prasadam and honoring prasadam and giving prasadam, inquiring and hearing, and then giving charity and accepting charity. These 6 principles followed nicely. That community, that group, it's a nourishment in the group, devotee group. When one does these things with a nice service mode, to Krishna conscious mode, naturally it nourishes that particular group and community. So it is very inspiring me. And these are the things I felt like inspired to share in this particular class from these 2 things, like how personalistic philosophy and how to move among devotee groups with these principles of Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Any comments or anything you want to share by any devotee? Yes, bro. Hare Krishna, bro. Okay. Yeah, not necessarily we have to appreciate in front. I mean to say, developing that kind of appreciation in the heart. We don't have to go to each and every devotee we have to say. Not necessarily required. Sometimes we can appreciate openly, sometimes personally, sometimes some other context. But it's not a necessarily thing like there are in a devotee group, there may be 1,000 devotees. We may not be able to express to everyone. We are very limited. We can't have that much time and energy, and we can't do all those things. But when we see that devotee, in our heart, that kind of appreciation we can feel happily. That's what Krishna in the Vaikuntha, in the devotees in Vaikuntha, what they do when they see face to face each other. They have that appreciation in their heart. They glorify the other devotees like that. They may not stop because they are also in the busy in doing their services. If we stop them and I want to appreciate, it's not possible. It's not practical. So, but in the heart, if that kind of appreciation is there, that's what helps us. That's what is Krishna consciousness or Vaikuntha consciousness is. Genuinely having that appreciation in the heart about other devotees. Sometimes, yes, we should appreciate taking out time. For example, superior Vaishnavas, they are helping us. Definitely we should appreciate openly and at least personally, this is what I am getting help. And that kind of expression is actually helpful to receive more mercy. So I think that's how you want. Yes, bro. Yes. Keeping some motives. Okay. So in general, even if they have motives, like they will be purified as long as they don't keep active motives. In fact, while coming to Krishna consciousness in the beginning, everyone more or less have some motives, some material conceptions, some material aspirations. But in the long run, if that motive is constantly keeping that motive and pursuing is not helpful. So how to appreciate that kind of devotee is your question, Prabhu? Yes. Okay. So other devotee, we have respect towards other devotee, but he may not understand that. Okay, maybe I'm not sure if I understand. Okay, I'm not sure I understood your question. So, Prabhu, somebody understood. Not getting time to appreciate.
Asking from the point of view of the devotee, those one who is doing seva. So because devotees want some definitely some recognitions or credits for the whatever they have done.
Yes.
So if they are not being appreciated physically,
Okay.
so how will he keep on going? Because he may not
Okay.
know the what. Of course, the senior has
Superior's case. Okay.
Seniors has respect in the heart, but he doesn't know it.
Okay, understood. Now I understood. For example, yeah, this is nice question, I felt. But if we do services in line with the superior's instructions, naturally there will be some reciprocation from the superiors. Sometimes they may tell explicitly, sometimes they may not tell explicitly, but through some gestures or some service, they may reciprocate like that. Krishna inspires without fail. If the a devotee is sincere, it's not possible to Krishna to not respond to the devotee through superior Vaishnava, because who is superior Vaishnava? He is an external manifestation of Krishna himself. So definitely Krishna will inspire that superior Vaishnava to reciprocate in some way. If we are thinking that somehow if I am not getting, it means it is also reciprocation only because it is helping us to think more about that superior Vaishnava. So Krishna is like, why Krishna makes devotees separation? Because to intensify their feelings for Krishna. So similarly, if there is a time, waiting time, naturally it is to depend more and more on superior Vaishnava and Krishna. So that's the way, that's the principle works. But again, it depends on the practical details and how superior Vaishnava and Kanishta, junior Vaishnava, it depends on so many other details. But this is the principle. It works like that for sure, provided both junior and superior Vaishnavas are sincere. It works like that for sure. Krishna is very, very active in Krishna consciousness. He is very active to help us. But, Prabhu, if you want to add anything. Okay. Is that okay, clear? Okay. Any other? Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Gandraj, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai.
Prabhu ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.